I feel like I have nobody to blame because I had to parent myself. And I'm like, oh, you're a bad parent because look how you turned out.
Who you wanted to be or who you naturally were, you felt you weren't allowed to be.
Oh, not at all.
That's why we're friends.
Welcome to a conversation between two friends.
This is Alice.
And I'm David.
And this is Truthfully Yours.
We are by no means experts or teachers, just speaking honestly within the bounds of friendship. If you found your way here, maybe there's something in that honesty meant for you too.
We invite you to lean in, and perhaps you'll recognize your own journey in ours.
Healing doesn't always look like therapy. Sometimes it looks like a Happy Meal toy. On today's episode, Alice and David explore what it means to reclaim your inner child when you spent your actual childhood parenting yourself. This is Truthfully Yours. Now here's Alice and David.
You know what I was thinking the other day? My husband and I just planned an anniversary trip for our 26th anniversary to Kauai. We've never been there. And then I was just thinking, the version of who I was when I met him in my early 20s, and we got married in my mid-20s and had a baby right away. Who I am today is nothing even close to who I was back then. And same with him.
Yes.
And part of me wondered, not in a bad way, would the person who I am now in a 24-year-old body, would that have even matched up with my husband? Absolutely not. No way.
Which is amazing.
No way.
I think that's amazing. And yet you guys are together and happy.
But no, I'm serious, because back then I was so different. And I think part of the reason why we have been together for so long, at some point you have to be able to let that person grow into the person that they're meant to be, or, to evolve to the highest version of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's where I think people get divorced and separate or break up or whatever, because somebody's evolving and somebody's like, you've changed.
Yeah. And then that sparks fear in them.
There's just no way in hell I would go back to my 24-year-old self or my 22-year-old self when I met him. No way.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because that girl had so many wounds. And at that time, you think you're all grown up, that you have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And then to me, if I was to talk to that girl, oh, you don't have anything figured out. You think you're so smart. You don't know nothing. But then I would also say to that girl, but if you pursue the things that bring you joy and work on those things, those wounds, you'll be the person you always wanted to be, that you couldn't even imagine, because whatever you imagined is nowhere close to who you can be. Yeah. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
I just feel like I'm just not the same person. That girl was so wounded. I didn't even know I was so wounded. And maybe in Rob's woundedness, he had a lot to grow too, right? And so I just feel like him at that stage of life is so different today too.
Yeah.
But eventually, here we are, just letting each other be ourselves without much interference. And I spend a lot of time with them, but it's not like we don't have our own lives.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm most thankful for, that I get to have friends and go out with my friends and do the activities I like. And he has his activities he likes. And then when we come back home, we're together. And it's great. It's so great. I think the 22-year-old self would have been so needy, wanted to do everything together. And then I would have been so hurt when we don't do things together. That's the idiot part of me. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad.
Let's take a minute and be grateful for your 22-year-old self. Because without her, you wouldn't be you today.
That's true, too. Because that 22-year-old self had to be very brave in so many ways.
Yeah. Because
you're just trying to figure things out.
You had less of a full tank to work with, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. But when I look back, I think about this a lot. I think, you are an idiot. I think I'm so hard on myself, too.
Still to this day.
Especially when I look back at my past. Like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
It's
too easy to do that.
It's so easy.
I think this ties into what you were saying earlier about lived experience and having more to offer. You're judging yourself with your lived experience today that you didn't have back then. You were doing the best you could back then.
But what's so funny is I have one daughter who's 22, one daughter who's 24, and I don't know everything what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
But when we have conversations, it's so funny because they are so far more mature about how they look at things than I was. But they also grew up, in the safety of a very loving and supportive family. And they didn't have to parent themselves from early on. And I think when you have to parent yourself, that 22-year-old version that I am so hard on is because I feel like I have nobody to blame because I had to parent myself. And I'm like, oh, you're a bad parent because look how you turned out. I always feel like I should be dead or in jail or something. I always feel like that. If you were to telling me about your 22-year-old self, about things you don't like, I would say, oh, don't be so hard on yourself. But I don't have that same grace for myself.
Right, we never do. And I think there's an inherent benefit to that. Because that's a drive that will always push you somewhere. You're the person behind the boulder. Like, go. We're moving somewhere. Or maybe we can't see over the rock and see where we're going, but we're always going to be moving somewhere because we're not content to just sit. And that's also the person that's going to give you a heart attack one day because you're doing too fucking much. And you're never just happy to be just sitting and resting all the time. Always got to be moving and doing.
No, but I don't like it. I'm just saying, I don't like it. I don't like myself back then. And I don't want to go back.
Myself back then would have done so many things that David today would never have done. Never have done.
Like what?
Never dreamed of doing.
Like what?
Making friends with people that I don't like anymore. I don't know. One main thing is stay at a bar till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I just won't do that anymore. No thanks. But, you meet people that way. You meet community. There's cool people that go to bars.
Once in a while, staying out late is fun. But yeah, in general, no. I value sleep.
I'm talking every night.
No. I'm not going to say we're too old for that. But yeah, that's just not even fun. I don't even know how people do that.
I feel like that lived experience that comes with age that you're talking about is such a benefit. Comes with a trade-off though. You're less open to new experience. You're less willing to take a risk. You're just smarter though. Like you experience less uncomfortable moments in your life, but you also don't get surprised as much by just putting yourself out there and see what happens.
I want more experiences, but I feel like I want to reclaim everything that I did not get to do when I was younger, that I was not allowed to do, or I was not given an opportunity to do. So an example of that would be traveling. So I'm trying to do as much traveling as I can to places that I've never been. There's so much I feel like I want to reclaim everything that I was told I can't have or I can't do. I want to reclaim that all. When I was a young kid, my earliest memories, it was just living in constant chaos and fear and just all these things that kids shouldn't have to go through. And in some ways, because I didn't get to live what I feel like would be considered a normal childhood.
Is this religious fear?
No, not religious fear, but I always felt like it was. I always just felt like I was constantly.
You always felt you had to be defensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Defense up.
Right. And then you build this tough exterior of
who you wanted to be or who you naturally were, you felt you weren't allowed to be.
Oh, not at all.
That's why we're friends. That's exactly why we're friends.
No, but it's true.
I was not allowed to be gay. Not at all. I was going to hell.
Well, that's so bad. That's so bad. That's a conversation that I definitely want to have. But
anyway, your child self, yeah.
No, it's just, it's so bad. Right. And then, like I said,
now you're free.
Yeah, I feel like I had to parent myself. And how can a little kid be both a mom and dad to themselves? You would need to know what good parenting looked like. And so you just are always constantly making probably the not best decision. And then you're just always having to defend yourself in ways that you probably shouldn't have to. Now I feel like I'm trying to reclaim all of that back. When countries go to war, they want to get the spoils. I want to go get the spoils that I missed out on. And in some ways, I feel like I'm reverse aging in my mind. I feel like I think much younger these days. And it's expressed outward.
You do. I think you're delighted by random things in nature, like birds flying by and trees changing color.
For sure.
And you're delighted by Happy Meal toys from McDonald's.
Yes, collecting the BTS collection for sure.
This is 5 to 8-year-old behavior for sure.
Yes, but I'm enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
it's just so fun to be a kid and experience that joy. And when I'm by myself, the joy of opening up a box and discovering which, toy it is from the collection that I want, and being so excited when it's one that I, haven't gotten, and then being a little bit disappointed when it's one that's a repeat. But there's something to that reclaiming that lost part of you. And it's also very healing. I have these conversations with myself, the 51-year-old self. I've done this, having conversations with my 8-year-old self, like, you're okay. Like, let's go to McDonald's. Let's go get a Happy Meal. Kind of merging with that person and letting that little girl know you're okay. And, even though you might have felt abandoned back then, you're definitely not abandoned now.
Right.
Like, I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through this multiple times. 8-year-old self, 10-year-old self, 12-year-old self, all the way through my teenage years, maybe 10 years ago. So that would have been in my 40s. I had never once gotten a pedicure from a nail salon ever, because I just felt like I didn't deserve it. And it's just so weird. Like, why would I think that? And my sister treated me to a pedicure, and then I just said, well, my toes are just too ugly. They can't be. It's so weird how hard we can be on ourselves. And we did it, and my toes look beautiful. And I just thought, oh, this was fun.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, subscribe to Truthfully Yours wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love for you to share this with someone who might need to hear it. New episodes weekly on Thursdays. For more about the show and Alice and David, visit truthfullyyours.com.